Good morning. Good morning. I'm Darlene Clayholt, and I'm your host for the Monday Morning Miracle Chat. We love to have you tell us how the patches have been helping you. Just remember that for the first 30 minutes or so, we want just to try to stick to the X39 testimonies. And the best way to tell your story is how you were before you started using the patch, then how you were when you started, and then how you feel now. And just remember, don't name any diseases, and just symptoms is the best way to tell your story. And remember that we don't claim to cure, treat, or diagnose any disease. We just, these amazing light patches do their work, and it seems like a miracle, but it really is science. And then if you'll just raise your hand when you want to talk, I will let you know who's next. And it looks like Lady Lactation, which I know that's not your name. You are Heidi. So Heidi,
I'm on my battery charged up iPhone. I have a quick testimonial on X39. I've been wearing it. I'm a 52-year-old single mom of 7 children, and I actually took off the patch and thought, I'm going to go on vacation for 3 days and see how the mental clarity works. Well, I could not remember the 5 things that I said I was going to do 5 things before I said I was going to do them. And so I'm back on it as of yesterday morning, because I thought, I haven't really tested out the mental clarity. I've been wearing X39 since February 22nd last year, and had so many other wonderful things. And I thought, I wonder if, I take supplements every day for a lot of other things. And I thought, I wonder if the patch is really helping with my mental clarity. Well, guess what? It is, because I can now remember 5 things, and I don't have to write them down anymore. So I'm not things anymore.
That's a good way to do it. Stop wearing the patch for a while and see what happens. And I know that I've noticed every now and then I'll just forget to put it on. And when it's getting like 8 o'clock at night, it's like, I feel tireder than usual. What's going on? And then I realize, whoops, I didn't wear a patch today. But thankfully that doesn't happen very often. Okay, would someone else like to share? We don't have any hands up. Okay, Jerry.
I'm only doing this because you don't have any hands up. I'm almost embarrassed. I'm almost embarrassed to talk about this one. As a lot of you know, last July I tripped and fractured my pelvis in 2 places and had remarkable results, and bone growth in 3 weeks, all that. But I'm healed. I'm better than that. Well, yesterday morning around 6, I had a little accident, and I'm not going to go into the details, but I got my foot caught into the bottom of a pajama, and when I turned real fast, it took me straight down on my hip again.
Oh no.
And my knee, and the pain was unreal. And I collected myself up, and it was the shoulder blade, the ribs. So I put the lights on and took my X39 on. And I put an X39 on my hip. I put an X39 on my knee. I put them on my elbows, which did get some cut up. I went on a hardwood floor, and I put a couple ones on. I know, more is better in this case. So I have no bruising. I have no pain. I think it's a miracle. If you touch, where I fell the last time in that, it's a little sore there. But there is absolutely no black and blue, no yellow. I was walking. I went for my long walk this morning. So there it is, an accident.
Fantastic. I have a very similar type story. If not, after we have the hands that are up talk, I may tell that one too. But X39 is an amazing patch. Okay, John, you're up.
Yeah, thank you. I'm kind of like Jerry. I'm just, because there weren't that many hands up, I just thought I'd throw this in because, I it's hard for me to throw this out there because I'm so fortunate that before I started wearing the X39, I had no health issues whatsoever. At 73 years old, I said, how could it get any better? And it's been 4 months now, over 4 months. And yesterday I went to a relative, my family in the Bay Area from Sacramento. It's about an hour and a half drive, so it's a 3-hour round trip. And I went out there, and I wear the X39 and the X49 every day, and it's just every day has gotten more energy, better sleep. It just keeps getting better and better. And so yesterday I went for a 3-hour round trip, and after I got home, I walked the dogs for another 2 hours or another 2 miles about, and then I came home and did my exercises with more energy to spare. So all I can say is, I just keep it to myself, but at the same time, I'm sharing this because, I just want to say that the X39 is just, and X49 has been remarkable for me, just absolutely remarkable.
That's great news, especially those of us who are in our 70s, 80s. It's really nice to know that you can have a ton of energy and not feel pooped out and like, what am I going to do? Sit down and do nothing, but you've got energy to keep going.
Yeah, strangely enough, too, when Heidi says she didn't put it on for 3 days, I kind of shuddered and said, wow, I can't do that. I couldn't take it, not wear it for 3 days, but yeah, I just might try that.
Okay, thank you, John. Cheryl, you are
Thank you.
next.
Good morning. My testimony is about my husband. We have been wearing the patches consistently since the 1st of March. And he fell off a ladder a few weeks ago. No, wasn't even a few weeks ago. It was like 8 to 9 days ago. And he scraped his elbow and his arm all the way down. He's 77, should not be on a ladder anyway, but he missed the bottom step. And he really did some serious scabbing on his elbow and all the way up his arm. And I looked at it 3 days later and it was already healing. It was just the most incredible thing I've ever seen. I've never seen him heal so quickly. And even today, as I look at it right now, you can't even tell he fell. It's just amazing. So, and that's all he's been wearing the X39 at the base of his C7.
That's wonderful. So glad to hear that. Especially when older people heal fast. That's an amazing accomplishment. Okay, Robin.
All right. Well, just a quickie. We have a very enthusiastic dog, and we were away for a little while, and she got all excited and jumped on me, and I had some pretty significant scrapes on my arm that drew blood. And Gregory goes, "Well, put an X39 on it." So I did. And this morning you can barely see them. So, well, keeping your first aid kit handy at all times is a good thing. Thank you,
It sure
X39.
is.
Yes.
Okay. How about Dr. Diane Stewart?
I have a couple stories to share. I did post on Facebook about this one. I had bone grafts because I need dental implants, and I've been using both stem cells, the 39 and 49, since before I had the surgery done. And they waited 6 months, and I went back for a CAT scan and last week, and the oral surgeon came in and he was all happy, and he was like, yeah, we could go this week. We could do it today. He goes, well, we can't do it today, but we could do it Thursday, but I don't have any time. But anyway, he was really excited. And I said, well, do you think this was a better outcome than you thought? And he said, oh, absolutely. He said that one area, you had so much infection in that bone and it was totally scooped out, and that is back 100%. And he was so enthusiastic. And I said, well, I have to tell you what I've been doing. And I told him about the patches, and he said, oh my gosh, that is amazing. That's wonderful. You need to share this with me. I want to try them. I'll be a guinea pig. Tell me, so he was so excited. So I did take him a performance bundle and some other things. So I'm waiting to hear back from him, but he definitely felt that it was a different outcome than I had. And he said, I have a hereditary periodontal disease that only affects like one tooth area at a time. So it's in different places. It's not even in the same place. So he's like, he was very excited about it. Then I have two other things to share.
Okay.
I hardly ever go without the X39 and X49 patches when I weightlift, when I exercise. And I've done it twice. And the first time I forgot, and I only put an X39 on about in 2 hours after I did my exercise. And I was so sore that night. And I have never been sore before this, since I've been using it. And I just went Sunday and I forgot to wear the patches. And as soon as I got home, I put both of them on, and I have just a tiny bit of soreness today, but nothing like I normally would have if I didn't use those. And I slammed one of my toes into a picture frame as I was trying to rearrange things. And I thought for sure it was going to be broken. And it got all black and blue, but it only hurt for a few hours. It stopped hurting that night, and I was able to wear shoes and no problem the next day.
Oh, that's wonderful. When you do something like that, did you put the patch right on the toe?
I couldn't really put it right on the toe, but I already had the patches on, but I put one at the base of the toe.
Okay. I found wherever I think I'm going to end up bruising, if I put a patch right there, I usually don't bruise at all.
Oh, wow. Good to know.
Okay. Thank you. Adele.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I just wanted to share, I have a 99-and-a-half-year-old mother who is now in a memory care center, and she's pretty healthy. We do Zoom calls, and she carries on a pretty good conversation. And when we moved her from my sister's house there about almost a year ago, and we started using patches a little bit off and on, not consistently at the beginning. It was a little hard with the timing until we had the nurses doing it for her. And I may have said this before on this call, but I thought I'd give an update. But my brother and sister, my sister's an MD, and my brother uses the patches, he and his wife, and love them. So when we were doing this and the expenses got pretty obscene for a while last year, I had said, do we really want to keep up the X39 just to make sure? Because it was one more expense. And they're both like, oh, yes, we have to do that. She's definitely getting better, her memory. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. We have the nurses putting the patches on. Unfortunately, the way it's going is they put it on one day, leave it on 24 hours, take it off the next. That's kind of the rhythm they got into, just the way my brother was visiting, but it's still helping. So pretty exciting. I'm probably going to see her next month. And I'll give another update, but just thought I'd share that. Be 100 in September. So pretty. Oh, and she fell recently and had to have stitches in her nose, just on her walker, walking by herself. Not anything else was hurt. She was absolutely fine. So that's pretty unusual for someone at that stage of life.
It sure is.
So thank you.
She would probably have broken a hip or something if she had not been wearing the X39.
Yes. And
Great.
she's so much nicer. We don't know that it's the patches, but my brother said, this version of mom is adorable. We love who she is right now. So I don't know if it's the patches, but she definitely has improved since she started wearing them.
That's fantastic. So happy to hear that.
Thank you, Darlene.
Oh, Sunshower.
Morning, everybody. Well, I often talking about, my hair is getting darker and all that. That's because of the X39. And I just went to the dentist. Dr. Diane just reminded me, I went for a teeth cleaning that always scares the heck out of me because I have really tender gums and stuff. So So I know that the X39 is why my hygienist said, well, your gums are in really good shape. I wonder why, you know, and I'm like, oh, I could tell you why. And so just to move into another of our patches, I did wear the ice wave here and here. And that I'm sure helped with, you know, when they go probing around in your gums and stuff, ooh, didn't hurt this time. So yeah, we've got some pretty good stuff going, huh?
That's wonderful. Well, there aren't any other hands up, so I can kind of tell a testimonial about the dentist too. I had many years ago, I had periodontal disease and had to have a lot of gum removed. So I have really deep pockets. And since wearing X39, we've been doing it for a little over 3 years now. Before, when I would go in and have my teeth cleaned, my gums would bleed and they would be sore and my teeth would be sensitive right in front where it's really, the gum is less. And I don't have that problem anymore. I even commented to the hygienist that my teeth weren't sensitive at all the last time. And when you eat citrus a lot, that makes your teeth even more sensitive. And so I try to remember not to eat grapefruit because I pretty much eat a grapefruit every day. And I forgot to stop eating it. And so I was shocked that my teeth weren't sensitive. So I love X39. Pamela, you're next. We can't hear you. You're still muted. Need to unmute. There you go.
I also want to mention something about the dentist, since we're on that stream here. I had gone and had some bonding done that I had before. And he said, well, we're going to numb you up. And I said, oh no, it's okay. And he goes, it's okay not to numb you. And I'm like, yeah, I feel like it's okay. And he said, wow, I can't believe that you went through that without being numbed. And I just know that it had to be the patches. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
That's a really good testimony. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sometimes getting those shots for numbing is worse than what they're going to do. Okay, Heidi, you're up again.
Hi, Heidi Miller here. I don't know if my screenshots on my iPhone says Lady Lactation Co-op, but I was admiring your glasses, Darlene, and I thought of another experience that I had just last week, Wednesday. My eyesight has improved. So I brought in like all of my favorite colored frames because I leaving an employer and I thought, oh, I want to cash in on my, $200 lens replacement. And I brought in like lenses from probably I just barely moved a month ago. And so I had probably 5 frames. My eyesight, my optometrist kept, pulling out. He's like, no, it's better than that. No, it's better than that one. I went back 3 years ago.
Wow.
That's amazing. So I love your glasses, by the way.
Thank
That's
you.
what I did.
Green's my favorite color, and they're easy to find. They're not so easy to lose.
I don't have any green ones yet, so I guess that's the color I'm going for next time.
Okay. Anyone else have a story they want to share? Well, while we're waiting,
I'll go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Gregory.
Yeah, while we're talking about dental, I've had some of the same procedures, bone graft and dental implants. And, I patched up sometimes before and always after. And I got to tell you, I've got a collection of pain meds that I never used from going to the dentist. It just seems like the Eon, the X39 and the Ice Wave just eliminates the need almost completely for ibuprofen or anything else that they want to give you. So hooray, hooray.
Yes. John.
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to finish my story about walking in the park as I walked my two dogs, one is a 13-year-old golden retriever, the other one's about a 6-year-old mixed breed. And I ran into two people there, two ladies who had their dogs walking, and they saw my golden retriever. He's got some issues about his hip, but I've been repurposing the X39 on inside his collar, and for both dogs. And actually, I've got about 5 or 6 patches on both of them because I just keep repurposing them, and I figure, well, it doesn't hurt. And they were very curious because I told them how much more active he's been over the last couple of months. And he's amazing. And their two dogs were 13 and 17 years old. And they said, wow, we need these patches for our dogs. They're little dogs. And so I ended up saying, are you interested? And they said, yes, we very much are. My husband also has an issue. So I sent them the X39 video. I got their phone numbers. It's a, back in my single days, it's a good pickup line, these X39s. It's easy to get phone numbers. So anyways, I sent them information yesterday, and they're very much into, finding out more about the X39.
Yeah, these patches are so great. It's just really hard not to share. When you see someone that's got an issue, it's like, I gotta tell them. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Michael, you're next. You have to unmute. There
Hi,
you go.
good morning. I've been using them for about 6 weeks. I'm a radiologist and an anti-aging physician, functional medicine physician. So I've did mountain climbing for 20 years. So I have a torn meniscus that's been there for 20 years, since the 90s. And it was bone on bone on the medial side of my right knee. And so after about 5 weeks of being on the X39 patch, I didn't notice my right knee was sort of hurting like it usually does, but I hadn't noticed anything. So my wife said that if you put the old X39 patch on the outside of the knee and the new one on the inside of the knee, that it will be like a force field or do, something better than normal. So I did that. And so plus I was doing the mind body medicine thing where I'm visualizing what I want to happen, where there's more space there, more cartilage there. And so then within 3 days, my right leg was back to the normal length as my left leg, because I was having all this problems with my ankle, my foot, because my legs weren't the same length. So within 3 days, they were the same length and the pain had gone. I can walk normally and everything. So thank God for X39.
Isn't that the truth? That's great. Thank you, Michael. Okay, Adele, do you have something else to share with us?
Yes, just back to the dental. And I know I shared this last year, but it's pretty amazing. My oldest son is 35, and he was having trigeminal nerve issues that sent him to the dentist, then the periodontist, and then they were sending him to a neurosurgeon. And he called me from the car and said, Mom, I'm in so much pain. And I said, do you have any X39s left? And he said, yes. So he went home and put one on, and he didn't call me. He called his little brother and said, hey, those things Mom gave us are freaky. He said in seconds, the pain was gone. And so we talked about it. That was probably 6 months ago. I talked to him later about it. I said, did it ever come back? He said, yeah, a few weeks later. And he put another patch on it, and it's been gone since. So just a little, just to, if someone's got anything, just to stick 39 right on that pain. Pretty amazing. So just wanted to share that.
Yes, it is. He just needs to be more consistent. Wear them every day.
At 35, he doesn't think he needs them. It's a tough, I agree. Tough battle. Thank you.
Jen Allen.
Hi, everybody. I usually have a therapy client this time, and she's not here, so it's perfect for me to join in. I miss this group, but a couple things. When I started on the X39 over a year and a half ago, within 1 week, my knees that were rubbing bone on bone, they stopped hurting, and it hasn't come back. So I was one of those quicker reactors, I guess, to the knee stuff. But what I wanted to tell you about was last night. I've been in Orlando this weekend with my grandchildren and daughter for Easter, and I was in bare feet all day. Well, I have problems with the bottom of my feet, and it hurts, and if I don't wear my patches. But last night they were throbbing. The neuropathy started throbbing and it had really settled down. I really had no problems because of the X39 and 49 and whatever else I do. But last night, because I was in bare feet all day on a hard floor tile, I will tell you that it was throbbing so much. I ran to my purse and grabbed, Robin gave me a little thing to hold my patches. Thank her, Gregory. But I grabbed 2 eons and I put 1 eon at the bottom of each foot. And I'm not kidding, within minutes, my feet stopped throbbing. And I wore them through the night. I took them off. I'm one of these people that I wear them for 6 to 10 hours, and then I take them off and I put them back on. So the sleep ones, because I go to bed at 12 and get up at 6 quite often. So, but I did take them off so I can reuse them again when needed for my feet. And I have to tell you, it shocked me because I was relieved, number one, that I didn't have to struggle all night, but my feet were throbbing and it stopped. So the eons. And now they're normal again. I wear good shoes, so enough of that.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be using them and in this group. Love to all.
Oh, well, we're so glad you got to join in today.
Yay. Okay.
Gary, you're next. Can you unmute?
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay. So I have a little Chihuahua that has a bare spot and I put the patches there for her. But I have some friends that's come up a few times about putting them on the collars or on, if you fold them, does it affect the use? And I've seen some people, I think, fold them over in half on the collar. Does it still get benefit?
It still works. It won't matter if you fold it.
I was in my memory, I was saying, well, I know one thing people do is a handkerchief because it goes through the fabric. And so they said they might try that, but then they have collar. So I said, let me find out for sure. So thank you guys. And the other thing is I have if I'm at the very end, I could tell you the story because it's about a little differently abled gal that fell. So we could say at the end, but anyhow, this gal fell. I signed up my first client and their daughter fell hard. And I guess so bad that it really swelled up. And so as their first experiment with the patches, they put the patches on and they were amazed and blown away. And that's their story. And they're believers because she had no swelling in the morning and hardly any bruising and all the pain was gone. So anyhow, I thought that was an amazing story, a simple story, but an amazing story to tell. That was their convincing story. Is that what it did for their daughter and the swelling when she fell on cement.
Wow.
And I kept it brief for the record, everybody.
It doesn't matter if your problem is minor or major, the patches work.
Amazing. So thank you guys. And
oh, thank you. Jim, you're next.
Yeah. In the line of gums, the last 3 times I've been to the dentist, to the hygienist to have my teeth cleaned, both the hygienist and the doctor, the dentist, commented on how good my gums looked. I thought it was something that I was doing, but hearing everybody else's stories, obviously the X39. Everybody that knows me knows that I broke my wrist and on February 23rd, and where's the scar? Right here.
Oh my gosh, it's invisible practically.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
Huh?
It's hard to tell. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah, just barely can see it.
And
Woohoo!
So yeah, I still don't have quite the strength in some areas, but and getting back to Adele's thing about her, I think she said her son, 35-year-old son, he thought he was too young to use the patch. Here's something that I'd like to say about that. When you get to be our age, I'm 66 years old, and before the patch, I was starting to lose my ability to regenerate stem cells. So when I started using the patch, my body was starting to make the stem cells again and rejuvenating my old stem cells, and it was playing catch up. And at the age of 35, you've only got about half of your stem cells left. If you use the patches from the age 35 on, you're not going to age like we have. But his body's not going to have to play catch up. It's going to do what David designed it to do, for us to stay younger, longer, and in much better health. So there's a good something for you to say to your son.
Yes, that is a really good idea.
Darlene,
Uh-huh.
I can't get my hand to go up. Oh, I guess maybe it just did. This is Jana.
Uh-huh.
I'm a homeopath, and I was treating this woman long distance who had a tremendous amount of hardware in her back. Everything had been fused, and she was in agony. And I sent her some remedies, and we ordered the patches, and the remedies started to work. But then when she got the patches and put them on, she started to cry. She said, "This is the first time I have been out of pain in years." And she was completely out of pain. We used X39, we used Eon, and we used glutathione.
That's amazing. Doesn't it just warm your heart when you have someone tell you that? That just makes me feel so good when I can patch someone and they tell me stories like that. Thank you. Okay, Jacquelyn, you're next.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi. I just have a couple stories. Two are personal, and one is for somebody that just joined who's anticipating being a brand partner. But when she first had her X39 on, the first day, the first night, she wore it during the day, and she took it off. And the next morning, she had absolutely no pain. Her problem was she woke up every morning with general joint pain all the time. She was so blown away that now she's got everybody else on board with this, and she still is doing great with it. And so that's a happy, good story. Usually people, need a couple days, some need months. I just want to tell you, and this was one of these miracle ones. So she's really on board. Also, my personal story, one is really quick. I did share that one time. This one, real short, is that for ingrown toenails, I'll tell you what, stick a Eon, an X39 on it, and it goes away instantly. And then,
my gosh,
it was unbelievable. I mean, I just put it on. I put it on in the middle of the night, and I stuck an Eon on, and then I woke up and it was gone. So it was something I'll have to do with footwear. And with that, another one is I've been using the X39 for years now, but I am a PT and I use it on some of my clients sometimes, but for myself, I use it religiously on my left hip, and I have, it's a soft tissue more than something that's bone, okay? And it's terrible for me to walk long distances. It brings up the pain on cement. So I carry my patches with me when I walk, and the carnosine added on with the X39, when I walked on the cement, the pain's gone. It's very interesting. I just thought I'd tell everybody, because we weren't talking too much about the carnosine, how also that's a really good adjunct to soft tissue repair and help it. So it's a great story, and I love them, and I use them all the time. Every day, my whole family, everybody. It's a great product, and that's all. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you. We are a little over, so Vaovao, if you can just do your story short, quick, that would be great.
Yes, I can. Thank you. I have a little story. It's personal. I don't share it too much with people, but here on this type of call, I feel it's safe and I can perhaps help others. I've had 3 C-sections and my children are now all in their 30s. But back in 2020, when I was getting involved with LifeWave, I went to the convention out in Las Vegas and I happened to be having a beer with Dr. Nicholas and getting to know him. And he had asked me where I'd prefer to wear the patch. And I said, oh, on the back of my neck, because I can't wear it below my belly button. I've got this very large incision from having 3 C-sections over the years. And he's like, oh, no, he said, because that's not a problem. You need to take one of your X39 patches and rub it up and down over any scar you have. I was explaining to him that I can't wear pants. I feel the zipper. I no longer wear a 2-piece bathing suit, and I lived in Hawaii. We went through bathing suits twice a day sometimes, So anyway, I rubbed it up and down. I started wearing it on the incision. My incision was 1.5 to 2 inches wide. It's quite a few inches long, and it was very dark purple for many years and very sensitive, to the point I couldn't wear pants. So I'm always wearing dresses. But anyway, ever since I did that, I was amazed at how it became so much more insensitive over time. And now it's 2 or 3 years later, it's the color of my skin and it's no longer, 1.5 to 2 inches wide. It's more like 1/2 inch wide. It's shrinking. And it's just exciting. It's my little private story. It's no big deal, but at the same time, depending on where
It is a big deal.
depending on where or what incisions you might have, open heart surgery, whatever, the X39 patch is wonderful over time for clearing this up. So
That is such a wonderful story. Thank you so much. I'm sure lots of people have that kind of a problem, and your story will motivate them to try what you did. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well,
Back to you, Gregory.
Thank you, Darlene. Thank you, everyone. We've gone a little over, so apologize for that, but some juicy stories towards the end. Everybody waits till the end to raise their hand. So spring is sprung. I got to tell you, it's warming up here in Montana where we are. Spring comes a little later here than it does in other places, but it's supposed to be up in the 60s today. So this is very exciting. And, and I think on tonight's call, we're going to talk about the law of the farm and how that equates to our business. It's a natural organic cycle, how Mother Nature, prepares, and plant, the preparation, planting, nurturing, watering, and harvesting process, and how that applies to our business, going back to our simple proven plan of action, preparing, sharing, caring, and enrolling. So we're going to talk a little bit about, spring planting time and the law of the farm on tonight's call. So please join us if you can. Thank you, Darlene, for doing such a great hosting job. Thanks everyone for sharing your stories. And, we just all love starting Monday mornings with this Monday Morning Miracle chat. And so if everyone would like to unmute themselves and say farewell.
There is
Oh,
one
Robin,
thing.
Robin's got
Thank you
something.
very
Go ahead.
much.
Bye, everybody.
Yes.
Bye.
Hold on a second. Robin
Wait
has
a
something.
sec, wait a sec.
Robin, go ahead.
Robin?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, tomorrow night's call, we have Anne Morrow with us, which is always a gift and a treat. And there's also a wonderful director's bonus going on. So take a look at the Facebook group. We'll be talking about that tonight. And happy springtime. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you tonight.
Okay, cool.
There is a manager as well as director bonus that starts today through the end of the month.
And
So check your email.
And we'll be talking about that tonight. And that ties right into, springtime planting season, harvesting. Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
wonderful day, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Great holiday.
Sharing.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
That drives me crazy.
Great call. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Can't wait to see y'all in Orlando in October. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Love the green glasses too.
Thank you.
Those are awesome. I want some of those turquoise ones.
Great
The
job,
bright
Darlene.
turquoise.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My eyes are getting better though.